everyone, welcome back to Holy Week. It's Wednesday, and Jesus is still finishing his teachings and his miracles. He spends most of the day in Bethany with Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, whom he had just raised from the dead. Jesus also retreats frequently to the Mount of Olives. The Garden of Gethsemane is there, and Jesus comes here many times to pray when traveling to the temple for various festivals throughout the year. But this time, he is praying and pleading with God 3 times, asking if there is any other way, because Jesus knows what's coming next. The day starts with Mary anointing Jesus with an expensive oil perfume in an alabaster jar that cost her a year's wages. And Judas felt that this was such a waste of ministry funds, which he was in charge of. So the devil overtakes him, and he decides right then and there to turn Jesus in. So Judas sneaks back to the temple and tells the religious elite that he will betray Jesus for 1/10 of what Mary poured out, which is 30 pieces of silver back then. And if my research and math is correct, and the average annual income in America is $60,000, then Judas turned in Jesus for $6,000. Strangely, everyone was preparing for Jesus to die on this day. First, Mary prepares him for burial. Next, Judas betrays Jesus for financial freedom. And then the religious elite think Jesus' death will appease Rome for a while. Jesus was being pressed from every angle like the olives on these trees. But Holy Wednesday is good news because Jesus announces that his death will save God's people, but not from Rome and not from poverty, but from death itself. We too go to the Garden of Olives to pray about what Jesus had to do to restore our relationship with God.
Right here in this hillside, something earth-shattering happened. It changed the whole world. Not just Jerusalem, not just for the people of Israel, but the whole world was impacted.
We sat there and meditated on this selfless act of love in a place where Jesus was in total anguish. He prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground. The Gospel of Matthew tells us that Jesus said to them, "My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death." Going a little further, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not for my will, but let your will be done." There is actually a Catholic church there called the Basilica of Agony. And tradition says it was built around the rock that Jesus agonized over. Catholics go there daily to pray over it and to sing hymns to God for this sacrifice. In this somber place, I felt humble gratitude to be surrounded by great friends, just like Jesus brought his inner circle to this very garden. I, too, was there among the olives with the one I love the most. I was caught in a private time of worship and total surrender as we exited the Garden of Gethsemane. Well, tomorrow is a very big day. Thank you so much for joining me for Holy Wednesday. Stay tuned for what comes next.